I am fired up. I am fired up. Man, it is a beautiful day. Look at that. The sun is shining. The skies are blue. I'll tell you what, even when the sun isn't shining, it's shining, right? You bring the weather with you. You rule your day. Don't let others rule your day. The world wants to program you. The world wants you humming to its message. And there's lots of messengers out there. This is the only messenger you need to be worrying about. This is the only messenger you need to be paying attention to. This is the only messenger you need to ensure is inspiring you. And how do you feed this mind? How do you feed it? Just like an athlete feeds its body incredible nutrition to be strong and healthy and up for the big game, you got to feed your mind the proper nutrition to keep it in the right frame, in the right state, so that you can be successful, energetic, positive, powerful, strong. I'm not talking about bullshit PMA, positive mental attitude, and fake talk. No, I'm talking about how are you nourishing your mind with the seeds of knowledge that are gonna ensure you have an incredible outlook on your life and what's ahead. Not just for the month, not just for the year, but for today. For today, I'll tell you what, I show my team lots of videos to give them that education. Lately, I've been inspired by Les Brown, Jesse Itzler, David Goggins. If you don't know who these people are, check them out on YouTube. Incredible, inspiring messages. But, Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V. But lately, I'll tell you who's really been inspiring me. My father-in-law, Matt V. Big Matt. I'll tell you what, this guy is incredible. As I mentioned in my last video, my father-in-law, he's going to be 78. And a few weeks ago, or maybe a month ago now, he got a prostate cancer diagnosis. And then upon further testing, they found out that it's metastasized, right? He has the highest stage prostate cancer and it's metastasized, it's in the bones. But you know what? He's got a prognosis. He's got a prognosis, not just from his doctor, but here in his mind, of hope, of determination, of the will to overcome. I'll tell you what, let me show you this guy. Let me show you a warrior. Let me show you what a warrior looks like. Yeah, have a look at this. There you go. Yeah, look at this guy. Can you see this? That's right there. That's Big Matt. Look at that guy. Look at how he's dressed. Man's ready for war. Ready for war. Ready for the battle ahead. How many people are going to get a diagnosis, a challenge that's going to change their world. It's going to rock their effing world. And then react like that. The good news is anyone can react like that if they understand that it's a small thing. It's a small thing to set about challenging yourself because you don't want to wait. You don't want to wait for the moment when life's going to throw you some curveball, some asteroid that you're not prepared for, right? So I'll tell you a story about Big Matt. This guy, for ages, right? This guy has been challenging himself in small ways, whether it's been physical training, mental training, nutrition. He's always been looking for. The guy's gone on hikes. The guy's gone on bicycle rides. I'm talking about competitively going out there and doing this kind of thing in his 40s, in his 50s, in his 60s, in his 70s. And I'll tell you, let me show you where his mindset is, right? Let me read this to you. This is where the guy's mind is. Because if you're talking about self-talk, yeah, and the way you talk to others, how do you set the narrative for your life? And I'll show you something here. This is the message I got yesterday from Big Matt. He says to me, Big L, this is the beginning of the savage mindset and the ignition of the fire 38 years ago to prepare my mind and body for this major battle of my life and the one that lies ahead. 77 years old, and I'm in beast mode. Can you imagine? Can you imagine your grandfather talking that way? I mean, Matt's a grandfather. How many grandfathers talk that way, right? I mean, the beast is unleashed, and I take so much inspiration from that. I mean, there's a lot of speakers out there, a lot of billionaires out there, a lot of highly successful people, and yeah, it can resonate. But when it's someone in your own life giving you the testimony from their soul and their spirit, my God, that lights the fire. And I segued for a moment, but just to give you an idea, when the guy talks about he's been training for this his whole life, I remember probably a decade ago when I was upstate in the Thousand Islands at our uncle's cottage, and Big Matt and our family, myself, we were there, and sunshine. It was the summer, right there on the water. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And we did a lot of physical training, Matt and I. And we had one of these power bars, these coiled springs that you kind of like bend, like the old strongmen, right? And we had a bit of a competition, right? It was just an unspoken competition. He would do 100, so I had to do 150. He would do 200, I'd have to do 300. Before you knew it, by the end of our trip, he was out there pumping out 800. 800 of these, a one shot, by the way. The man busted up his rotator cuff just because he was inspired by the spirit of a simple challenge, put himself into therapy, right? Physical therapy. His therapist has seen him many times over the years over situations like this. His therapist thinks he's crazy. But who's crazy now, right? And the challenge is coming. The challenge is coming for all of us. It's coming for you. What kind of challenge is it? Is it a health challenge? Is it a spiritual challenge? Is it a personal challenge? A business challenge? Is it a challenge with someone in your family that you've got to deal with? There's so many things that life can throw at you. Are you ready for it? And how do you get ready for it? I'll tell you how. You got to self-impose. You got to put small challenges upon yourself. And they don't have to be big, grandiose things. So don't think, you don't have to start projecting out there that, oh, what am I, I've got to do some big thing to change my life. No, small things. Day to day. Can you go tonight without eating dessert? Can you wake up instead of 6 o'clock on a Monday morning? Can you wake up at 5 o'clock on a Monday morning and get to work an hour earlier to get your day started right? Or maybe to get up and pray. Maybe to get up, hit your knees, and thank God for the gift that you've been given today, because no man is promised tomorrow. Maybe you get up an hour early just to read and educate yourself. I mean, small challenges like this. How about instead of hitting the gym 4 times this week, you hit the gym 5 times this week? There's a lot of ways that we can begin to steel ourselves for life. Harden the F up so that when an asteroid does come, we can slice through that effing thing like butter. Look, I'll tell you what, there's someone in my family's life who gives a lot of spiritual guidance. He's He's a brother-in-law to Big Matt. He's a priest in the Greek Orthodox Church. His name is Father Andrew, and he sent Matt this fantastic message. I want to read it to you guys because I found this really powerful. Let me read this to y'all. Let's see what we got here. Okay. So this is called Eagle in a Storm. Did you know that an eagle knows when a storm is approaching long before it breaks? The eagle will fly to some high spot and wait for the winds to come. And when the storm hits, it sets its wings so that the wind will pick it up and lift it above the storm. While the storm rages below, the eagle is soaring above it. The eagle does not escape the storm. It simply uses the storm to lift it higher and higher and higher. It rises on the winds that bring the storm. Amazing. The Bible says, those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. Wow, what a powerful message, right? The storm is our fuel. The storm can be your gift. The challenge can be the energy that takes you to a higher place. It doesn't have to render you asunder. Doesn't have to destroy you. Doesn't have to break you. Doesn't have to belittle you. Doesn't have to belittle you. It doesn't have to diminish you. It can actually build you up into the person you should be. The person you were meant to be. Whew. What a way of viewing the challenges that beset us. So, I wanted to kind of finish up by saying that, it's kind of like, are you going to wait for that storm to lift you up? Or do you want to get an effing head start? A head start on where you're going to be as a human in this world. What are you here to do? Who are you here to be? And are you working your way to get to your true self? Or are you mixed up in all the distractions of life? As Rocky Balboa said in that film Balboa, there's an incredible scene where he's talking to his son. And he says, let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are. It will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is going to hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, then go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying that you ain't where you want to be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that. So, I'll leave you with this message. How are you training your mind? How are you training your body? How are you training your brain for the battles that are sure to come? For the objectives, the goals that are no doubt one day gonna just dawn upon you. Don't wait. Start today. Start with something small. Educate yourself. Spiritualize yourself. Steel yourself for greatness. You do that now, and you're going to walk through life like you're walking through walls. Walk through life like you're walking through walls. Walk through life like you're walking through walls.